Ladies and gentlemen, last time I saw you in Madrid before the European elections, we all were in a very combative mode, daring to fight for liberal ideals and for voters to believe in our program. I remember in Madrid we were talking about seducing voters and asking if we were sexy enough. Turns out we probably are quite sexy. We are the only major political group that managed to grow. We broke the magic barrier of 100 members in the European Parliament. We will have a record number of the commissioners. We managed to break the duopoly of the conservative socialist majority in the European Parliament, and for the first time in the history. And we have a chance to actively shape the direction of European politics. This is a reason to celebrate, but not too long. Excuse the trivia, but with greater power comes greater responsibility. We have to assume this responsibility with pride, determination and humility, and we always have to remember who do we work for. We work for the European people. And it is with them in mind that we have to work hard to try to understand their problems and offer solutions to those problems. The big task for the new Commission is to deal with the multitude of challenges or even revolutions all happening at the same time. Just to name some: geopolitical shifts, Brexit, climate, technology and digitalization, migration, security, unemployment and labor market conditions. This is quite a list, but I believe Europe can actually go through this, especially that us, the centrists of ALDE, will bring fresh ideas and a reality check. I think Margaret Vestager has spoken a few minutes ago about digital challenges and what we can do about it. I also have some ideas, and we will work with Margaret very closely in the new Commission. But today I wanted to talk to you about the bigger problem we face in Europe, the threat to the fundamentals of the European Union, the threat to Europe's soul, meaning our liberal values and our democracy. Some of the threats are new or amplified by digital transition. Some are old, but I want to speak to you about them because if the fundamentals of our union are shaken or destroyed, we will not be able to deal with the rest of our problems. I was entrusted with a role in the new Commission to defend our democracy and our values and find the response to the modern challenges. It is also the first time that such a portfolio was created in the Commission. This is a recognition of the challenges that lie ahead, but also about the determination with which the next Commission intends to fight for it. And if I can confess something to you, I am really proud that as a part of ALDE and Renew Europe, I will be in charge of defending and fighting for values of liberal democracy. The first question then is, what are the liberal values we will be defending? It's a timely question, especially that we are celebrating 3 decades since the people of Central and Eastern Europe dared to destroy the Iron Curtain and got rid of communism. Let's start boring. Legally speaking, our values are enshrined in the Article 2 of the treaty. So let's pause for a second what this Article 2 actually says. The Union is founded on the values of respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. So this is the legal language. but as a person that lived both in authoritarian and democratic regimes, let me give you some examples what this means in practice. First of all, elections alone are not a guarantee of democracy. Just ask those who today live in a country which holds elections but can hardly be described as democratic. Russia, China, for example. Then let's take the justice system. The judges may have even applied the law, but the law was not based on the rule of law. Nobody doubted that the judges were appointed and depended on the party. Then the media. They broadcasted just one message in the service of the party. And if the party decided to smear individuals or the entire group of population, the media were there to execute that order. So these are my memories of the regime I lived in the first half of my life. In a nutshell, liberal democracy is about people, and it means respect, solidarity, and self-limitation of power. We have done relevant first steps, but they remain only first steps. In the new mandate, in my new role of the Vice President of the Commission, I want to make steps 2 and 3 and push so that our democracy is more resilient. I want the European Commission to dare doing more, to dare because we care, because freedom and values are worth fighting for. I want to use this opportunity of talking to you, my political family, to share with you for the first time some ideas I have about what I want to do. Let's start with the rule of law. My priority will be to design an annual rule of law mechanism covering all the member states. But I want this monitoring to cover much more than just judiciary systems. It should cover, in addition, at least anti-corruption and media freedom. Of course, I want to continue using the entire toolbox that we have, including Article 7 or infringements, but I really want to strengthen the preemptive arm. We should dare reacting when we see the initial stages of systemic problems, not only when it is too late. We have to be proactive, not reactive. My second priority is to design and implement Democracy Action Plan to respond to threats. I see this plan as consisting of minimum 3 parts. First, disinformation and online manipulation. Second, media freedom and pluralism. And third, security to our elections. Here I intend to push strongly the platforms to assume more responsibility and to become more transparent. And I want to empower users to choose what they see, rather than be trapped by secret algorithm designed to promote advertising revenues. The way I see in the tech giants took and are still taking risks when it comes to finding profits, but are extremely risk-averse when it comes to openness and responsibility. If this doesn't change, I will try to find regulatory solutions. Disinformation, also foreign disinformation, is spreading on social media like wildfire, and we need to get better at detecting it and exposing it. And we will do that regardless if the platforms help us or not. Then we also need to pay more attention to the media freedom and media pluralism in Europe. We are all aware here of the challenges and the problems the media face, including political interference, concentration, and safety of journalists. And I was told this is not really EU competence, but again, I want to dare to do more. I attended a few weeks ago an event organized by our great colleagues from the Renew Europe in the European Parliament on this issue. and journalists and politicians agreed. Journalists need more funding and more legal protection. The son of tragically killed Daphne Caruana Galizia told me how his mother and now him continue to be sued for defamation, not even in Malta, but in London, to create a chilling effect for his investigations. And this is not right. We must find the way to address this. But I also would like to dedicate more funds to legal aid by offering funds to dedicated groups or NGOs. It's not going to be easy to move the goalposts on these issues, but I want to try daring. Ladies and gentlemen, the next Commission, but also we all, have to take a stand and support the rule of law and all European values. A democracy can turn into autocracy not overnight, but over time. Leaders, often elected and popular, can weaken constitutional constraints or legislative checks. The freedoms and values are eroded slowly but steadily. It happened before. The Weimar Republic was a democracy that became a totalitarian state using mostly legal and democratic processes. And we can't let that happen in the EU. We, the liberal, pro-European family, we need to create a credible alternatives for the extremists and, when in power, use it to address people's problems, fears and uncertainties. If they will not trust our credibility, they will not trust our warnings, they will not listen to our arguments. There should be no judgment or prejudice from our side, only open ears and determination. Ladies and gentlemen, we have multiple challenges that we have to overcome if we want the European Union to succeed and matter for the people. While doing this, we have to use a compass that guides us when we make our choices so Europe can remain Europe. This is the compass of our values. I hope I can count on your energy, your ideas, so we can make a real mark in shaping the European future. If we truly care, we have to dare. Thank you very much.